let's go ahead and get into some gaming stuff. Well, we talked about some gaming stuff.
Oh,
we started out with gaming stuff in the sexiest way possible. Let's go ahead and get into people. Those are my favorite shows out here. Fucking up with CD Projekt Red.
With Cyberpunk.
Yes, with Cyberpunk.
Guest starring Cyberpunk.
Yes. Who's this week's fuck up?
Let's see.
For the 12th week in a row. Cyberpunk 2077. People, they stay messing up, man. It's gotten to the point now because listen, we all know the story. I'm not gonna say anything.
If you don't know by this point, then
they put out a bad game. They put out a game that they didn't promise on. Not only did fans stop caring about the games, and people didn't buy the game. Some people couldn't even buy the game because it's still not on the PlayStation Store, right?
I don't know about that anymore. The only thing I know about that for a long time it was unplayable on the older consoles. Xbox One, PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah,
they removed it for a time. I don't know if it's still removed. It might possibly be.
Is this game still off the PlayStation Store?
And I do not know.
I think I heard it was, but
that is the case. That is wow.
and they just it's on Epic, but I don't think it's on Sony.
PlayStation. Interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
On the PlayStation Store. Yeah, it's still off the PlayStation Store.
Wow. Okay.
Even Keanu couldn't help him, man.
Test of a person's true value, death.
That's the game trying to work. Johnny! I'm trying to work!
You in there?
Yeah, if you can get past all the glitches.
Yeah.
You know, it's a damn shame when you up so bad that it just starts to confuse people. I mean, what's worse than a straightforward one where they can't even figure it out?
Yeah, where they're trying to be honest with you by not being honest with you. We're going to be more honest.
Yeah,
caveat, asterisk.
So this all goes back to multiplayer. So
it's a multifaceted story. So CD Projekt Red, they put it out there. The specific executives said, hey, we apologize for everything that happened with Cyberpunk 2077. We learned a lot through this experience. And the first thing we wanted to say is we're not going to just spend years hyping up this game, all these specific features that end up not being in there. Like, we're not going to do it anymore. That's the first thing. So, we promise something that's going to be in there, we're going to make sure that it's in there. And then a new thing came out where people were curious, well, what about the upcoming content for Cyberpunk 2077? You said you were promising DLC campaigns, bug fixes. Apparently, they had a huge patch that came out recently that fixed a lot of problems. But one of the things that they are curious about was single-player DLC and also the multiplayer mode, which was hyped up for quite some time. And they said, well, when it comes to our games, we want to have focused single-player experiences, and when it comes to multiplayer games, we want to be sure to tell you that they will have multiplayer modes. But what about Cyberpunk? We'll get back to you. And then a shareholder meeting happened where they were curious because shareholders were like, okay, we want to know about this upcoming multiplayer mode. And they were saying anything but the fact that this thing was going to have a multiplayer mode until the point where okay, you're not telling us, is this game that you promised going to have the multiplayer mode? Because that can bring potential more revenue. People going back to the game. And they said, we have nothing more to say on that right now, which means to me, there ain't gonna be no multiplayer mode for this thing. No. This thing has so many issues still that that is not that, and it might not even warrant it at this point. It's not producing enough money to have a multiplayer mode.
Listen,
that shows that they're not being honest, like they said that they were going to be.
So people were planning on playing. They say that's why I bought the game so I could play multiplayer. And now you're not doing it. We don't know. Listen, what I can tell you exactly what's happening because their shareholders, our investors were saying, so what's going on? They asked straight up. They said, okay, listen, as people who are paying for this, who put money in this, what the you doing? They just said don't pick up the phone. don't say no, don't answer back. So I can tell you exactly what's going on with this. Whatever other components they have going on, that shit doesn't work either. Yeah. That's why they're holding out. They don't want to they just don't want to come out and say yes, our shit still doesn't work because it's all connected. Yeah. Any kind of DLC, the multiplayer, they could put out a goddamn poster of this and that thing would be broken.
It's too crumpled.
No, that is a rip down the middle, man. Jesus.
Sorry.
Man, what it is that all this shit is connected and none of it's working and they just don't want to come out and say we have another thing that doesn't work.
Because it's more bad press.
Yeah. No one wants to hear not working from them at all. What they want to hear from CD Projekt Red regarding, and people don't even give a shit anymore. People forgot about this game.
That's the thing I want to touch on because, I mean, people are still playing it, but not to the point where it's like when it was initially released.
Yeah.
People have moved on. There's so many other games out there right now. This game came out 6+ months ago.
And what people want to hear from this, they said, people have made it clear, don't you say another fucking thing unless it works.
Yeah.
Hey, it works. That's what we want to hear out of your mouth.
Yeah. But no, as I was saying, it's just you've had some people move on. Like it might not even make economic sense, monetary sense to create more content with it if there's not enough people playing this and supporting the game.
How much did it drop on Steam? How many players left this game?
Significant. I don't know. It was high.
It was like
high.
It was like what, 90% of.
Was it 90%? Jesus, it's between 70 and 90. I think around
it's still
there.
a lot.
Yeah. So, it might not make sense to even produce content for them. Maybe they already had something in production. Maybe they stopped it. They did say now that they're moving on to other things. Another Cyberpunk game, possibly another Witcher game.
Yeah.
So, but again, very, very few details. That those games are very, just initial levels of production.
People don't even talk about this anymore.
I know it's just kind of falling the ways unless it's stories like this.
They just put out a patch. Mm-hmm. They just put out something that's supposed to fix the game. They just put out another patch, and the shit broke it even more. Yeah. People, nobody's talking about this anymore. They're just not saying anything. They said what they had to say because they were forced to say it
to the shareholders, especially
to their shareholders. They were forced to come out and put. Hey, look, I got quotes here. I can tell you exactly what they said, and the shit is just a ramble. Mm-hmm. Previously, we hinted that our next AAA would be a multiplayer cyberpunk game. This is coming from the president, CD Projekt Red. But we have decided to reconsider this plan given our new, more systemic and agile approach. Instead of primarily focusing on one big online experience or game, we are focusing on bringing online into all of our franchises today. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And is that franchise include Cyberpunk 2077? Is that you're going to have multiplayer in this game? They're like, if nothing more.
I didn't know.
Like not being specific. That's the thing. And they're going against their whole we're going to be more honest and open.
What they're doing is, and I wouldn't be surprised if they
trying to save face.
When they come out, when somebody comes out and they give you all this jargon and corporate talk and everything, that means they don't want to say what's going on. They're intentionally trying to confuse you.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're buying time. Mm-hmm. They sit up there they don't want to say what's really going on, so they're just trying to buy themselves time. And when they fucking disappear after that, that means that the shit is still broken.
Yeah,
that's all it comes down to.
Probably even said anything. Yeah. They should have just been quiet. People just forgot. Now they brought themselves back.
They could have come out and just said and gone back and did what they did. Yeah, they were
glitching.
Yeah.
They moved on over to customer to people.
And at this point, people are even kind of giving up on it. People, what was supposed to be the biggest game of the year, people are like, man, I've moved on.
That's the thing.
Hey, you know what? You fucked up. Move on. I've moved on. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's cool. I just don't want to hear nothing else.
That's why I'm surprised they even mentioned anything with in terms of support for this game, because people are they're not playing it to the levels that they were playing initially.
No. Yeah. People are saying it's a goddamn shame when the fake Avengers, that game is doing better than yours.
Damn.
They're still out there.
They're still people producing content, I guess.
Hey, man, the game is boring, it's repetitious, it's dull, but it works.
No, it does. It works at what it does.
It works.
Boring and repetitious. I agree.